Arizona State Senator Kelly Ward is going to conduct a town hall meeting to meet with her constituents who are concerned about chemtrails in the Havasu area. She's a Republican, a Tea Party Republican, and I'm finding myself shocked to be in the same corner as a Tea Party Republican, but I happen to think that there is something that should be talked about and looked at here. She says that she's heard from constituents who feel that they're not being listened to, and so that's why she's doing it. She says this: they're concerned because many of them have had blood work, and they're concerned about our air and water, and so I want the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality to come out and reassure them. I've gotten a lot of communications from people who are concerned, and there has been a sense that no one has been doing anything for them to address these concerns. I can't do field tests on the water, but I can connect them to people who do. Now, on the surface, that sounds like, okay, she's finally listening to the people who are concerned about this. But when you look into it further, it seems as though they're just luring him to a trap where they're going to beat him over the head with denial as we look into this further. I know that, okay, this is one of these issues, Lizette, where people think if you think that there are chemtrails that are not innocuous, that you're part of the tinfoil hat contingent and that you're completely out of your mind. And, you know, that to me is pretty disturbing, because it is something that we see happening. You can see it happening, and so there should be an explanation for it, but nobody's given an explanation.
Exactly, and I think that's the issue, that we don't have enough information, and there's a complete lack of regulatory measures surrounding chemical trails or any type of chemical spraying. So, and that's essentially what we need to happen in this particular case and in others.
Yeah.
We don't need confirmation of what, you know, that these chemtrails are bad or anything like that. It's not like we're hoping for this. We just need to know what's actually in these chemtrails.
Right, because I mean, this is not Photoshop. This is a real picture. This is happening, and I see this over Los Angeles several days out of the week. And so this is happening, not every day, mind you. And I'd like to know what it is, if it's in our air. Although, when they have this town hall meeting, the people who are actually concerned about it might be really disappointed when they find out that the people from the ADEQ are going to show up and say, no, yeah, no, it's nothing, no problem. There's it's just your imagination, which is what it looks like is going to happen. They're going to have some people there explaining to these people it's really nothing at all. Mark Schaefer, Director of Communications for the ADEQ, said that the department for the past years has received calls, emails from people, and he's maintained his position that there is no evidence to support these claims. He says this: our standard response has been, there's no credible scientific evidence about chemical spraying or geoengineering. So that's going to go over real well. They're all going to gather to voice their concerns, and the people in charge are going to go, no, what, you know, you're all crazy. There's no evidence whatsoever. And then they're going to be back where they started. Now, I'm in a position here, Lizette, of being perceived as one of these tinfoil hat wearing people, because I happen to think that there's something there that needs to be addressed. I'm of the precaution protocol, which is, unless you can prove to me that there's not a problem there, it needs to be further investigated. And they haven't proved that there's not a problem there. What I'd like to see happen, quite honestly, the only way to me to really nail this down is if somebody sits there and visibly watches a plane that's doing this. Somebody's at the FAA and they can identify exactly what plane that is, and do that over a period of time to establish a pattern. Are these airline planes or are they not airline planes? Because it is happening. We do see it. The question is what it is. Small business owner Robert Hunter of Havasu says this: there's a lot of conspiracy theories about chemtrails, and they may or may not be true, but when it comes down to it, the government isn't telling us everything. We have a right to know what's going on, and there's definitely something. So this town hall meeting is going to happen, Lizette. These people are going to show up with their pitchforks and demand to be heard. They're going to be treated like they're some kind of crazy idiots, and they're going to go away not having been satisfied. So I do applaud, though, Kelly Ward for even taking the initiative to have a meeting, because nobody in the government actually acknowledges any kind of problem with this whatsoever. I do wish that the government would address it, and we'll have to see what happens after this meeting. Let us know what you think. Am I crazy? Should I put on the hat, or do you agree? And let us know what you think, and subscribe to Live TV.